stress and its impact on our immunity. What we're realizing today is stress is one of the biggest factors in our overall health. In fact, depending on which study you look at, there's two major ones. 70 to 95% of all doctor's visits are related directly to stress that the body, that person, that patient is going through. And so stress influences our overall health dramatically. And that's because what stress does to our bodies is it induces a survival state. And so we have three forms of stress. We have chemical stress, physical stress, and emotional stress. All of these three main areas can drive a stress response in our body. And then that in turn makes our brain operate in a very short-term survival-based mentality. And so what does that mean for our immune function? Well, if we're operating on a survival mindset, our body only cares about the next couple minutes. And so it's going to dramatically change our health priorities, because if we don't survive this next couple minutes, a lot of other things don't matter. And so if we are in a survival encounter, what do you think is very important there? Well, we want to get blood to all our limbs as quickly as we can so that we're prepared to fight or run away as fast as we can. So we're going to divert blood away from our organs and into our extremities. We are going to be changing our blood pressure. We'll be changing our heart rate. We'll also be changing our breathing rate to start circulating more nutrients and faster to our body. We're going to be elevating our blood sugar so we have more fuel to mount a response. We're going to be increasing our sugar cravings because we want more food or more blood sugar, specifically under stress. Stress and immunity. What we're learning today is stress has a major impact on our health. In fact, 90% of all doctor's visits are directly related to the stress of the patient and how it's impacting their health. And so how does it impact our immunity, and what can we do to reduce its effects? Well, first off, let's look at stress and what it does. Stress induces survival states in our body. Our brain, when it's under stress and it perceives stress, whether that's a physical stress, a chemical stress, or emotional stress, our body goes into a survival state. And so these three forms of stressors can be toxicity. They can be directly of too much bad or not enough good. And so if we have, say, a mental stressor, and it could be a physical stressor as well too, say there's a bear in the room over there and it is staring at me and it's hungry and it's drooling, man, I'm starting to get frightened right now. And so my brain starts to change how my body's operating. Well, there's going to be a physical stress going on, so I need to be able to shift blood into my extremities so I can fight that bear or run away as fast as I can. So it's going to divert blood away from my organs and into my limbs. And then it's going to increase my blood pressure, so there's more blood flowing. It's going to increase my heart rate, so there's more blood flowing. This is going to distribute nutrients to my body so that I'm able to quickly respond and have the fuel I need to get up and go or fight. But then it's going to shut off some other things. Particularly when it comes to immunity, if I don't survive this encounter with the bear, my long-term immunity or my exposure to a cold or flu becomes irrelevant to my body. Say I am currently sick and I'm fighting off a cold, and all of a sudden a bear walks in the room, my body's going to shut down my immune response to divert resources away from that to surviving this encounter. That makes perfect sense. The problem with humans, however, is that we go into the stress response all the time, and our brain acts like there's a bear in the room almost all the time. Because of our human brains, it's not just what we're going through, but if we imagine stressful encounters, we can generate this physiology in our body. If we remember a stressful event, we can create that same stress in our bodies. And so people are operating in very chronic stress levels all the time because A, they're not getting enough good stuff in their bodies, and they're getting way too much bad, and so it's generating stress. What this does to the immunity is it shuts it down. Basically, the only aspect of immunity that's left is inflammation. And that is a huge problem with health today as well too, chronic inflammation, because your inflammation level is actually a branch of your immunity. And why it's important here is because if I get mauled by a bear, what my immunity is going to prioritize is get a short-term, very short-term immunity. And so that is your inflammatory response. Because what that does is it draws a bunch of defenders to, particularly for a wound, is what it's designed for, so that it can fight off that invader very quickly. But the aspect of the immunity that's shut off is the long-term health. Because like I said, if I don't survive this bear attack, my defense to a cold or flu doesn't mean a lot. And so if we're under chronic stress, our immunity is going to be tanked. And so we want to be doing everything we can to diminish our stress levels so that we can elevate our immune response, but also elevate our entire health and well-being. And so I look forward to serving you in future videos where we can talk about how to do just that.